Hello, welcome to ECTV Live. I'm David DeCosmo, and with me today is Sabrina Herbert, who is with the Newton Township Recreation Committee. And I've invited Sabrina here because for the first time in Newton Township, there's a special holiday event that's coming up. Now, it's designed for the residents in Newton Township, but what goes into this event is important in terms of possibilities for your community. Sabrina, so many communities, smaller communities, are getting their own programs together for holidays. You folks had your first taste in the fall.
Yes.
And you decided to come up with a fall festival?
Yes, so we had our first fall festival. It was this September, and it was super successful. So much work went into it, but everyone had a great time that showed up.
Okay, and that, I guess, kind of was the emphasis for moving on now to a holiday event. So first of all, what is the event and when is the event?
So we are doing our first annual tree lighting. It'll be on December 14th, starting at 5:30 p.m. We have a tree that was donated to us. It's about 15 feet tall from Chambers Trees out in Clifford. And it actually will be showing up this Friday.
Okay.
But we will be lighting it outside on the 14th. So that'll be around 6:30. So we're actually working with a couple of other organizations as well. So one of them is Newton Ransom Fire Department. They are fantastic. Their fire chief actually will be playing Santa Claus.
Okay.
And then we also have a Mrs. Claus that'll be there as well. They'll bring their fire truck with them, drive it around the building, and then Santa will actually light up our tree.
You've also mentioned, because it got my appetite ready, that you're making some cookies for this event?
Yes. So we have a phenomenal committee that makes everything that we do at the Rec Center possible. We started over in the summer, and they were actually the driving force behind our fall festival and behind this tree lighting. So they are actually baking cookies for this. We've had cookies donated to us for kids to decorate the day of. We've had hot chocolate donated to us and toppings for it, so we'll have an entire hot chocolate bar. Yeah, so it's, again, totally free for our community, and we're looking forward to having it.
Now, it really captured my attention. I saw a piece on Facebook about this effort, which led to my contacting you. I live in Plains Township in Luzerne County, and there we're fortunate enough to have the Lions Club that is very, very involved in having community events. Of course, it's handy to have a place to start with. In our case, we have a park that we use. In your case, you have a gymnasium.
Yes.
And we talked before going on the air about that sort of getting things started. So the gymnasium already existed in the township.
Yes, yes.
But how did the committee get started?
So our gym has been in need of serious repair and renovation over the last few years. It's literally an upheaval. So starting with the ceiling, currently it's a drop ceiling, which is a little tough for volleyballs and basketballs, as you can probably imagine. Yeah. The floor is hardwood, but it's raised in certain spots, which can make it a little bit tough to play with, not having an even surface. Lighting can be updated. The HVAC system, having a cooling system so that we can use it over the summer would be tremendous. We actually have a stage inside this gym as well, so we would love to have maybe concerts over the winter or performances, but that's another area too that has to be definitely upgraded and renovated too. So the committee came together knowing that this is an ongoing issue, and the priority with this committee is to first let people know that we are there. The rec center can be used as a rental facility, so if you have a sports team out there that needs some indoor gym space, our gym is perfect for that. But we also have shared gym space, so the public can come out during certain times of the day and actually use it for free. So if you're looking for something to do over the winter time, basketball, soccer, you can just pop on over and play.
This is the thing that brought everybody together then.
Yes.
And I think that you'll probably agree that if other communities want to start doing something, let's say start with tree lighting, although if you're going to do that, you better be planning for next year at this stage, obviously. But you've got to get the people together. You need the volunteers. Now, as I said, Plains Township has the Lions Club volunteers. What kind of suggestion do you make to communities out there that might want to do something? First of all, what's the value to a community of having something like the tree lighting?
It's totally invaluable. Just speaking from my perspective with my family, knowing that the township that I live in has something like this that I can bring my kid to, hopefully every single year, a tradition of some kind, it's touching. It's awesome.
Sure. So it does bring people together.
Absolutely, and that's part of our event as well. Once we light up the tree, we'll be outside caroling and just kind of congregating as a community, as neighbors and friends. So.
Sure. And we hear so much today about separation of people throughout our country, and yet we all live in these communities, whether they be large or small. It is easier, obviously, for a Scranton or a Wilkes-Barre to put together. Scranton has a major Santa parade. We have a gentleman in every year that talks about the preparation that goes into that, and you can imagine. But at least when the city is large, when the community is large, it's a little bit easier. If you've got more people to draw from, first of all, to work as a committee, and secondly, to draw as an audience, it's a little easier to do. So you take a little bit of a chance when you do it at your level.
I want to say, and don't quote me on it, I believe we have about 8,000 to 10,000 residents in Newton Township.
Okay.
So the fact that we have such a committed and devoted committee is just mind-boggling. I've lived in huge areas before, and I haven't seen this level of commitment from people like this. We have a core group that shows up to our meetings, that drives these ideas, that volunteer their time, their money, and it's all driven by their passion for where we live.
Yeah.
Just giving of themselves, which I feel like is so hard to find these days.
How did the fall? The fall festival was your initial event.
Yes.
How did that come into being?
So I had an idea. I believe it was last September that I brought up to the Township supervisors. We in Newton Township do not have any kind of fall event. I've heard of a lot of communities in our area doing something like that, and I figured, we have the space, we have an indoor building in case it rains out, why don't we do something like this? I did not realize last September, as basically working on it by myself, how much of a project it was going to be. It's a big deal to get something like that put together, especially when it's free. So I was just so, I don't even know what the word is, overwhelmed by the amount of people that came together to help me make it what it was. It was just beyond anything I could have imagined last year. So yeah, we all came together in May, I believe, was when we officially started, and in a couple of months pulled off this tremendous event.
And you had, I guess there's some agriculture in that area, so
Yes.
that fit in with the fall theme, obviously.
Yes, and that was a thing too. Newton Township is an agricultural community, and I really wanted to highlight that aspect with our fall festival. So we had a farmer's market up in our pavilion area, and we had a lot of local farmers come together to sell their products and just kind of let everyone know, we're here.
Yeah, and I think one of the great aspects of this is that once you have set up an event like that, and you have a little bit of a template to work with, then it's a matter of going forward. So I guess the Christmas tree lighting was sort of the next obvious type of thing to come up with.
Yes. We sat in our committee meeting, I believe it was in October, and I just asked, what kind of things do you guys want to see here? What can we do for our community in the winter? And one member said, tree lighting. I went to it when I was a kid. It was so much fun. So it just kind of naturally progressed from there and snowballed. Everyone pitched in really great ideas. And like I said, the best part about this committee is, someone says something and they will follow through with it. It's not just kind of thrown to the wind. These are an amazing group of people.
It's almost like bringing back Christmases from way back. Of course, my way back is a lot further back than your way back. But there were more, in my mind, there were more community-oriented events then. And I don't know, maybe as the suburban world started to grow and grow and grow, we got less centralized. It became maybe a little more inconvenient to come up with community-oriented events. But I'm starting to see a few of them come back, which is why your event triggered my mind, saying, this is not only something that deserves some attention, and the people behind it deserving some accolades, but also can it possibly prompt others to do something like this? The first thing you've got to do is you've got to see, are there active groups in your community? Maybe it may evolve around a senior center.
Yeah.
Something like that, where people at the center can start to create something. And I'm already wondering, are you looking forward to perhaps other possibilities?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, what types of things might be on the horizon for a group like yours?
So we are considering doing in the springtime, like a bingo night. We are looking into maybe doing a concert over the summer. So just kind of very similar to what Hillside Park does with their concert series.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But bringing that out towards Newton Township, Newton area.
Yeah, and that, by the way, is nearby for you.
Yes, yeah.
And it was a concert series which I believe it's free to the public to come and listen to the various bands that are there.
Yes.
There's a community in Carbon County, Weatherly,
Okay.
which has an old style band shell,
Okay.
and they have a concert every so often during the summertime.
Awesome.
So that's the kind of thing you want to see happen.
Absolutely.
Now, none of these things happen for free.
Right. Right.
So, and yet your event for those
Yes.
attending from the township is basically a free event.
Yes.
How do you get over that?
So our group is working on fundraising right now. So a lot of it comes from just donations from our township residents and outside sources. Right, as I mentioned before, our gym is in need of repair. So that is what brought our committee together, and that's what we're kind of focusing on. So some fundraisers would include, I know we've discussed doing like raffles. We've talked about bingo night would be another perfect example of like a fundraising opportunity. And we've received a lot of just private donations too, which have been tremendous. The cookies are being made possible by people donating.
Yeah, and you
So-
baking.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I will be busy. I'll be busy next week. Yeah, it's just a bunch of people coming together for this. I guess it's just, like I said, just giving of yourself for others, for everyone else,
Yeah.
which is really inspiring.
What kind of response did you get to the fall festival? You said it was a success.
Yes. So it was crazy because like 2 weeks before, I'm like sweating this out. I'm like, I don't think anyone's gonna show up. Like maybe we'll get 200 people.
I've done all this work. Will anybody come out?
Yes, yeah. So we're all just in the back of our heads. It was our first time just wondering, will anyone even know that we exist? You know,
Yeah.
what will happen? And so many people pitched in to make that possible. We had a touch a truck in our parking lot, so we had, you know, a bunch of people come out with their vehicles. We had Pullman Farms donated a bunch of pumpkins to us, so we had 100 pumpkins to be painted.
Okay. Yeah.
We had a really awesome girl that came out. She was 14 years old to do face painting, and her friend came with her as well to help out. That was all volunteer. So yeah, we had so many pieces of this put together. The farmers coming out. I was hoping that they would do well with this. The craft vendors in our gym. So yeah, it was a lot at stake. But we estimate that we had over 1,000 people that showed up to that day. So it just
great.
completely
Now
surpassed.
that was like this, like the tree lighting. This is a one-day event.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So it's sink or swim on that
Yeah,
day.
it was, yeah.
But you do have the advantage, as you pointed out, of having an indoor facility, so
Yes.
you're not weather dependent.
Exactly, exactly.
There are times you'd rather be outside, but if the weather is against you, then
Yes.
at least you don't lose the event.
Exactly. And this building is very sentimental to Newton Township. It served as a school for the longest time. It was the Newton Ransom Elementary School.
All right, then this is the building that was across basically from Red Barn Village?
Yes, right across from Red Barn Village. So
Okay.
the last high school graduating class was in 1964.
Oh.
And then it remained.
It was a high school?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, my word.
So it was a high school. I believe, and I could be a little off on the date, I believe it started in 1939. So the last class was 1964, and then it remained open as an elementary school for a while as well. There's still like many members in our township that graduated from the rec center now, or went to elementary school there. So then Newton Township acquired it in the 90s, and we've been keeping up with it, maintaining it.
Well, now
ever
your
since
focus
then.
would be on the gymnasium area, which, as you
Yes.
say, also has a stage.
Yes.
What about all the, I mean, there are other, where classrooms
so,
and such.
Yes, the classrooms are still there. They're currently rented out. We have a downstairs area that has a fitness center. That part of hopefully our master plan would be to bring that upstairs to make it more accessible to people.
Right.
Kind of keep it next to our gym. But we would love to see, like a real fitness center with maybe some like bathrooms, showers kind of thing. We have a community room that people are able to rent. So if you have any kind of gatherings, birthday parties, we do a lot of baby showers. You can fit easily like 35 people in there.
And I believe, as I recall, the building that I've been by there,
Yes.
there's a parking lot right adjacent to it.
Yes, and that's another thing too. We would love to expand that parking. We just started, I believe it's 2 years ago now, having pickleball during the week.
Oh.
Yes, yeah, it is huge. It's crazy. So we have pickleball now because it was so popular twice a week. Yeah, so it's just a drop-in play. We do volleyball on Monday nights. And everyone that shows up, they're great groups of people that come together. So people look forward to every week. You kind of
Is basically all the space used then in the school?
Yeah, basically everything is. We have a
Boy,
history room.
That's great.
Yeah, so if you went to school in the rec center building, you can actually go to the history room and see pictures of all the classes. There are sweaters that people donated from the school. There's a lot of pride in this building. So.
Yeah.
That's kind of like our motivation to keep it going and just kind of bring it into the next generation.
Sure, and of course the age of the building does have its
Yes.
disadvantages in terms of, as you say, if you don't keep up with them.
Yeah, it can quickly add up, the amount of maintenance work.
So, do you get any funding from the township for your committee?
Yes, so we do get some funding from the township. So that kind of money goes towards, like heating the building, maintenance on the building. We just got a new door installed. It goes towards staff salaries. We're open on Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 8:30 p.m. Weekends are Saturdays from 10 to 5 and then Sundays from 12 to 5. So yeah, it helps fund that. But again, if it wasn't for like these donations that we receive from our residents, it would be really, really tough staying open.
Well, when you have a school like that,
Yeah.
and I consider it a neighborhood school,
Yeah.
which they used to be plentiful, and jointures unfortunately closed many neighborhood schools, and a lot of them are gone now.
Yeah.
But where they do exist, it's good to see a positive use for them.
Yeah.
And it looks as though the township, the committee especially, is putting its thought and efforts into this to an extent that it's still going to be the center of a community.
Yes.
And that's really the best part at all.
Yeah.
We are talking specifically with Serena Herbert about a tree lighting festival that's going to be held again. The date on that, Sabrina?
December 14th.
December 14th. And all of the efforts that go into that, because it's part of the idea of seeing more and more small communities do their own thing and come up with their own ideas. You will run from, what is afternoon hours? It's what, at 5?
So it starts at 5:30 p.m.
5:30,
So
okay.
we'll start with kids' activities in our gym. We actually have a photo booth set up for Santa and Mrs. Claus.
So they can come and get free photos
Yes,
with...
it's really sweet. We'll be doing sugar cookie decorating, cookies, of course, and hot chocolate. And then around 6:30, we'll try to get everyone outside just to actually light up the tree and then just kind of get together as a community.
How many members are on the committee?
Right now, we have like a steady 9 amount of people that show up to our meetings. We are always looking for people who are willing to just volunteer. So if you don't want to actually commit to being, at the meetings, but you want to help with the events, we're more than happy to have you. We would actually love to have your help.
So they don't necessarily have to sign up for weekly committee
Exactly.
meetings or something.
Yeah, you don't have to be part of like the whole behind the scenes thing. You can just be a part of the actual events. So if the tree lighting is something that interests you and you just want to help out with that, we are happy to have your help and we could actually use it.
And I suppose you've got to do a certain amount of solicitation because you're looking for donations not only from individuals, from corporations or businesses within the community.
Yes.
And now there you have a unique situation because you're not in a metropolitan area.
Yeah.
So those businesses that you have are scattered.
Yes.
So somebody's got to take some time to go and make some visits.
Yes. Yeah.
And that isn't Santa Claus.
Right. No, I wish. Yeah, it's incredible the response that we get for being in such a rural part of Lackawanna County, from businesses and just from individuals too that just have, I don't know, like a passion for the building. So we do hope as a committee, though, once our master plan is set, which we hope to have done by next year, I suppose.
Are you like actively working on that?
Yes, we are. So we actually are working with an architecture firm right now to get our master plan put together. The age of the building is something to consider when it comes to renovating.
Yeah.
So we don't want to ask for a dollar amount until we know exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And we don't want to just work on one part of the gym if it might impact a future project. So that's what the purpose of this master plan is. Just kind of getting all of our thoughts and ideas together and then just seeing what realistically can be done with it. So we're hoping that should be done by next year, and then hopefully start opening up the doors for grant writing and kind of starting all that exciting fundraising process.
That would be your big boon if you can sell that to some grant
Yes.
applications, and should check with the Scranton Foundation for one thing.
Yes,
A very active
absolutely.
organization here that has helped a lot of people and a lot of organizations to be successful, and I think they look for things like this that benefit an entire community. You are hoping for a good turnout for this, but I think, and I don't want to put words in your own mouth, but it seems to me that in addition to getting people turning out for the tree lighting, maybe you can sort of convince some of them then, hey, look, this committee is here.
Yeah.
We've done a fall festival. This is brand new. The tree lighting is brand new here. And you want to make this an annual. You want to make them both, I'm sure, annual
Yes.
events,
Yes, absolutely.
along with whatever else spring events. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities.
Yes.
Which leads also to the idea that maybe you not only need some volunteers, maybe you need people to come forward and say, hey, here's some ideas.
Yes, definitely. We are open to hearing anyone's suggestions on what we can do to kind of make this rec center a place for everyone. That's what our whole idea was behind offering these like adult sport nights. We have a lot of kids groups that come out, soccer, volleyball, basketball, to rent the facility. But we also wanted something for the adult members of our community to come out to and enjoy as well. So with the tree lighting, it's a family thing. Anyone can come, all ages. There's something for everyone here. And that was the same idea with the fall festival too. So we just want it to be an inclusive place.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious, other than obviously thanks for visiting us here, but how do you get the word out?
So social media has been incredible. Word of mouth kind of branches off of that as well. But so far for this event, we just stuck to Facebook. With the Fall Festival, we advertised in our local papers. We advertised online, of course, through our website, word of mouth, and physical flyers, too. So,
What is that website, by the way?
so it's Newton-Township.epics, I believe. If you just Google Newton Township, you'll come across it. Newton Rec Center has a tab on it. But our Facebook page is also a really easy way to kind of keep up to date with what's going on.
As I said, that's how I actually discovered
Yes, yeah. So our Facebook page is probably the most trafficked. And we have an Instagram account that's brand new as well.
Well, what are your hopes for the tree lighting?
I just hope everyone can come out and just have a great time. Hopefully make it a tradition and just celebrate, our community.
There are undoubtedly some, pardon me, some folks watching, pardon me, who are from smaller communities that don't have anything organized. What do you say to them?
Don't be afraid. You would be surprised at how many people will actually come together and put something like this for you. It doesn't have to be like, something you just kind of sit back and go, oh, I wish. Just take that energy that you have and put it forward. It actually comes together so much easier than you think when you have the help of other people.
And so many people benefit from it in so many ways.
And that's the best part about it, is just seeing the faces of the people that attend and just hearing, wow, this was so much fun. it's just, it's incredible.
Sabrina Herbert, I wish you so much luck with the
Thank you.
tree lighting, but more than that, I wish you luck with this entire endeavor of trying to get a committee together that's going to do things for a community year-round and maybe be an example to others who are watching that, yes, it can be done and it should be done, because it really makes life better for everybody all the way. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you here. Mark McGlory, thank you for keeping us in focus. I'm David DeCosmo for ECTV Live. Till we see you again next week, here's hoping all your news is good.